The host just needs to mute everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Cees, I made you the host, so you're good to go.
Let's get it. Welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and make sure everyone's muted. Give me a second. I don't lock that in. All right, family, what's going on? My name is Cees. I'm a P600 in this business. I'm gonna go ahead and ask everyone to mute their mics because I can't even do it right now. But everyone, if you're in the call right now, pay attention real quick. Just give me a second of your time and make sure your mic's muted so we can go ahead with the call. It's obviously going to benefit a lot of people in here. I'm happy and I'm grateful to see 50 plus people here in this call right now trying to get to this information. And so be it, man. This is a good time. We had an amazing convention this weekend. Amazing. Like, it changed my perspective on this business.
I woke up this morning, Frank. I was up $1,000 and I should have took my money and ran, bro.
Bro, ain't nobody care. Mute your damn mic. Let's go. We're doing this lesson right now.
It was at 850, I think.
Yeah, hold on. I need you to mute that mic for real quick.
Sorry about that, bro.
Bro, I'm tripping off the settings, but I'm trying to mute everyone right now. Does someone pop up? Tell me how to mute everyone real quick. Oh, this is bugging me out. Oh, I got it. Okay, family, I'm sorry about that start. Let's go ahead and start again. Welcome to the call. Today we're going to be going through some pivots basics. My name is Cees. I'm a platinum 600 in this business, and I've been here for about 6 to 7 months now. So I've learned quite a lot in my trading experience, and utilizing pivots throughout has been extremely helpful from start to finish for me. It really is a tool that we need to utilize. The business, it comes with these tools. They're there for a reason. And in my own personal opinion, pivots has been the one for me that has really changed my trading perspective. It's allowed me to take control of my entries, and it's also given me a depth of knowledge and understanding of the range of market, like how far price can move within a certain amount of time. So it's really important to be able to narrow that down. So everyone here, give me a 1 in the chat right now if you've got pivots. If you've got pivots, then of course you should be on this call getting to know how to use your pivots. So go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat for me if you've got pivots. You made the first step. Getting pivots alone is huge. When you first open up pivots, of course, you're going to see all this stuff and you're not going to get it. So for everyone that's here, that's fresh, all my new members here in the academy, or those who have just decided to go and get pivots, I'm going to break down pretty much what it is, what's going on here. So pivots, as we can see, this market right here is GBP, JPY. Today, it bought up like crazy. So, we caught this whole movement. But what we're going to do is break down roughly what you'll be looking at when you come into here. So essentially, pivots itself is TradingView. This is just TradingView right here. We got the same tools all along the side. We got the same layout. We got the same settings where we can change here. We can have countdown to the bar close, all those types of things. So this is just TradingView essentially. But we have these lines that are drawn in for us. No matter what market we go on, there are these lines. You can see these, of course. So what are these lines meaning? We can see they're labeled by the sides. Everyone can see that, right? Drop a 5 in the chat if you can see all of the zones on this side here. We can read them out. They look clear. You can tell. These are all labeled. These lines mean something, right? So what do these lines mean? That's what when we get into pivots, we don't realize when we first come in here. You look at it, you just see a bunch of colors. That's what I thought. The first time I looked at it, I thought, that's a lot of colors. I never used that many different colored lines in marking up charts before. So we need to fully understand and take into perspective what these lines actually mean. Essentially what's occurring right here is the market is being set into a range for you. Now this range, we have to think of it as this. Think of this whole shaded area as potential liquidity for the market to move into. This whole range, that whole big box right there, that's our range. Now, one thing that's key, and if you're writing notes, write this down now because it's important across the whole field. Time frame is relative. Time frame is absolutely relative. A lot of traders get confused between understanding how to trade in between these time frames. Different time frames can give us different pieces of information. Therefore, it can affect our trading amongst those time frames. And if we don't ultimately understand the amount of time we are looking to be within the trade and how price is going to move on different time frames, it will be hard for us to maintain and manage our trades and understand the general movement, the direction of the market itself. So understanding that our time frames will change our range. So if we look here right now, what have we got? We got this. That's a horrible market to look at. I'm going to go over here to the indices real quick so we can look at these. Obviously, if you watch Pips and Breakfast, you'll be familiar with pivots and how we work on here. But what we can see is this is the 15-minute of NAS, right? When we go from the 15-minute of NAS to the 30-minute NAS, we can see right now, this is the 15-minute. We're on ESO. Everyone can see that, right? So the difference between the range on market on the 15-minute to the 30-minute is slightly different. Not massively different. We're probably still on ESO. Well, then go from the minute 30 to the hour. We're changing the time frame of this range. So we are now no longer, we actually are. We're still sitting on ESO. So the range is on a higher time frame. This is still suggestive that we are almost oversold in the hourly time frame. Now we go to the hour 4. It's a higher time frame again. The hour 4 still gives us what? It doesn't give us ESO. What's this? It's all the way at P4 now. So we have to understand first and foremost that time frame is relative to our range in market. So to first ultimately understand pivots, we need to know that we can utilize it amongst different time frames to have a general sense of knowledge. So what does that actually mean from it being an SO to P4? I haven't even explained what SO and P4 is yet. So that's where we're going to take it back a step and we're going to actually nail down what is going on with this range. So the range of market, we know how to trade range in markets, right? If everyone has been in their candlestick Bibles, if you've been suggested to read the candlestick Bible and you haven't, I highly advise you put your ego to the side. Whoever told you, maybe you think, he's talking smack, whether you don't know what he's talking about. He told me to read this Bible, it's going to change my life. It's true. It's dead ass true. So if you've been told to tap into the candlestick Bible and you haven't yet, tap into that. But in a ranging market, essentially, what do we have? We have a high level of resistance, a top, a ceiling. We have a high level of support, a support being the floor. And we also have the middle that splits the two floors. This is called the pivotal point, our P, our middle. The similar thing is shown in an indicator called the stochastic. Now, if you use the stochastic, it's an oscillator which measures the momentum of the market. So when it's moving in a certain direction, this stochastic can display visually the momentum of this market. So if you've used stochastic, you'll understand that here at the bottom is almost like our SO line. Here at the top is like our 8 line. And here at the 50 in the middle is the pullback, being like a pivot. So we can relate this kind of strategy and this visual analysis with different indications. So our mind should be slowly and surely be trained to analyzing things on this level, having a top level of resistance, a middle pivotal level, and a bottom level of support. So this is what we're dealing with at all times in pivots. We understand that right now we're within that range on the hour 4. So each candle here is 4 hours long. So we also have to take into consideration that for these candles to move, you see how many candles it took to get from -2 all the way back up here to R5. There's a lot of candles, which is a lot of time. So we know that this move, yes, we might have turned around at R7 and are testing P4 now. If we break P4, we could move where if we break the pivotal point in the middle, well, we should continue that move back down towards the SO, the bottom, the support. If we don't break P4 and price starts to reject from here and we see reversal price actions forming here, and bear in mind this is the 4 hours, so on the lower time frame, if we see price action from here, it's actually a SO. So what does this imply to me? It implies more that the market is towards the bottom of range on average across all time frames. Now it's important. This makes it more of a sure thing. And it's something I never really experienced with pivots. And to be honest, I don't know of many people utilizing it in that way. But what it suggests to me now is that on the hour 4, we're at a P point, we're at the pivotal point, but on the lower time frames, we are oversold, we're at SO. So if we do perform the correct price action in these moments, the likelihood of the market moving back in towards P4 on this range and from P4 back towards our rate on the journey it already was on is very likely. So does that make sense to everyone? Drop a 2 in the chat if that makes sense to you. If that made sense right there, what I just explained about multiple time frames on average adding up to being more suggestive for a certain direction of movement. I know that's quite a lot to take into perspective, but roughly around what we're looking at here is the fact that we're at the bottom of a range, and also on the higher time frame we are at a pivotal point of the range. So the correct price action could send us back towards upwards into the range or to the top of the range on the higher time frame. A lot to throw at you all in one, I know. I wanted to go there. I wanted to get you uncomfortable. I wanted to make you understand that this has to be understood on a deeper level. So let's break it down to the absolute simples again. R8. Can someone drop in the chat right now? What is R8? It's our top level of what? R8 is our top level of what? It's our top level of resistance, right? Yeah, I see them flooding in now. I had to wait for a second, but that's good. You got me. It's our top level of resistance. So automatically, when we're thinking of resistance, we're already thinking about price turning away from that point. So anytime we see price approaching R8 on our pivots, again, I'm going to go into the minute 15. Minute 15, just to clarify, just to clear up everything now. When I'm trading live, when I'm making decisions here and now, I'm looking at the minute 15. It's the closest to the most immediate time frame, and it will tell you how price is moving essentially in the most immediate you will be able to see on pivots. So I trade in the minute 15. The minute 30, the hour, the 4 hour, and the daily are more confirmations. I won't sit in those and look at those ranges. I will look at the most recent range. So the minute 15 is where I will sit and trade. So we go to the minute 15 and we look where we are. Of course, like we said, we're at SO. So at SO, we were saying R8 was our top level of resistance. So SO is our bottom level of support. So now that we've reached our bottom level of support, what's happened? If we take a look in real quick here on the 15 minutes, for the past hour, 15 minutes being an hour, for the past hour, we have stayed right here. What does this mean, family? It means our hour candle should be what? It should be quite a small body candle and almost consolidation, right? So we go to the hour. What do we see? It's actually, it was looking a bit like a pin bar, but nevertheless, it could even be perceived as a harami candle. We already know a harami candle, again, if you've been paying attention to your candlestick Bible, can be seen as a reversal pattern at the bottom of a sell move. Now, this is clearly at the bottom of a sell move. We are clearly oversold and at SO. Now, after this is formed, what's that next candle going to do? If this is a reversal price action candles here on the hour, this next hour candle should do what? It should buy back in towards the range. So we're using these ranges, these lines, these zones as guidance as towards where the pressure is going to be on the value and whether we can back price action in certain levels. Now, it's a lot to look at pivots. Sometimes I don't find it to be, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. It is as simple as SO is a heavy line of support. Yes, it can sell below SO into these minus areas. That's what they are there for. But it just means that we are in oversold conditions. We are literally at the bottom of the ranging market. So what happens when it gets to the bottom? We buy at support, we sell at resistance. Now, the middles, the in-betweens, we can see on the sides here, SO, S1, S2, S3, and then P4, right? And then above P4, it's not S5, S6, S7, it's R5, R6, R7, R8. Again, just signifying the separation between supports and resistance. So now that we're back here at SO, if we form that harami and it is a reversal pattern, which it looks like for the first 15 minutes of this market opening, we've opened bullish, right? So we're buying back into the market. So we can physically see this happening right now. Price is moving back in towards the range. So we know these aren't levels of resistance. These lines aren't levels of resistance. So it's a lot easier for price to make its journey this way. It's a lot easier for price to make its journey this way. When it gets to P4, granted, it's a pivotal point. It gets hard. It can get techie in P4. And a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, we see a lot of interactions occur in and around the R5, S3, P4 level. This is like the pivotal point. It's a dangerous zone. And it's in here. Price can move a lot of directions from here. It has that resistance here. It has a pivotal point in the middle, and it has a support here. Again, its own little range within itself. We see price actually moving within that range here. So we know in this area, we need a lot of confluence and backing on the direction we are intending to go before decisions can be made in those areas. But on this way up here, we are facing levels of support, not necessarily levels of resistance. So that makes the price easier support back into this range here. Same way with when we're selling from R8 back into P4. What do we notice? These are the levels of resistance, not level support. So selling back in towards P4 here is a lot easier for price to do a lot of the time. So I'm going to check the chats real quick because obviously I know people, but if you got any questions, I'm going to look over them real quick. And we got it, we're all good. So everyone sees this, right? Everyone sees it. Everyone sees we're in the oversold conditions. We've gapped up down to the bottom where we started the day pretty much on or earlier on. And now we're looking to form price action to buy back within the range. Everyone can see this, right? What does P4 stand for? Kush, P4 stands for the pivotal level. So think of P4 as your center, your middle. This is our center. This is our top. This is our bottom. The blue lines are the crucial lines. We can see that, everyone can see that. The blue lines are the crucial lines. These light blue lines right here, R8, P4, SO are our crucial lines. Trading pivots is really simplistic. You shouldn't really overcomplicate it. And you shouldn't just back it blindly either. I'm gonna go into that a bit more. But again, you shouldn't just back it blindly. One of the reasons I'm very confident about this buying back in the range was using those higher time frames to give me that confluence. We look at the hour 4, like I said, it's at P4, which means it's naturally, it's literally, it's going to fight troubles here at P4. And I'm sure for a fact on the hour 4 over here on pivots, remember these time frames are separate. This is the hour 4 pivots. So the range is on the hour 4, the time frame, the candles are not necessarily on for hour 4. I can change those, but the range will stay the same. If I want to change the range, I'll move this here. But the hour 4, we were at P4. 15 minutes, let's look at the 15 minutes. Well, what can we see? It's basically, this is SO for us, essentially. SO is P4. What's the price action that we're getting from here? The 1 minute, what can we see? Gap up, prices coming back into here. And now what do we use on pips and breakfast? We actually use the Hekanashi candles to get that flat bottom information. We want to know, is price consistently moving in a certain direction? Well, what do you have right here? P4, we've got all these flat bottoms right now forming. So I think if Nigel was here right now, he probably would have been hot on this, understood that we'd entered above P4 level, showed signs of retracing back towards it as a retest, but then formed multiple flat bottoms, and he'd probably be taking the next zone as a TP right now. So generally, we can see how we can utilize pivots to kind of come up with these, the confidence and the confluence to take these trades. It helps with entries. How does it help with entries? Why is this all important? Why is it important to know the range? Like what? Why do I need pivots to figure out my entries? It's not necessarily to figure out your entries exactly. It's for you to understand that at any point in the day, where in the range in market are you? Where are we? If I was to come into this market earlier on today, and let's say we ignore all this from here on, we're below S2, we've been at S3, we're below S2, and price has obviously done this buy and this sell again here. But if I'm to check the market here, I know I'm towards the bottom of range. So what's that mean? That means I don't actually have that much room for a lot of sells left. I know my types of trade that I'll be looking for on a sell are probably going to, one, be short term, because we're very close to SO, and I don't think it's going to take a very long time for us to reach those SO zones, because price ultimately wants to test that resistance or that level of support. Price wants to. It wants to test it. We can see it approaching, testing once, coming away, testing again. Price wants to test it. So I know that one, it's going to be short. It's going to be a short-term sell because there's not that much distance left for us to sell into. And two, it's going to have to be a small pip goal. So I'm not looking for loads of pips, because naturally there just isn't that many pips towards SO or towards the bottom of the range naturally itself. So I'm not going to really be scouting out for sells too heavily, because I want to see how price interacts with the bottom of our range. So it will help you stay away from getting faked out by, if we remove all this, if I go ahead and click remove all drawings, I didn't know it did this, but it does do this. It removes the lines for you. Naked chart, we can see that. I don't see anything. Really and truly, if I zoom out, what do I see? I just see kind of a bullish trend essentially coming towards running out of steam, not really making it anymore. It looks like, okay, we've broke away from that. If we get nice clean touches here, we've kind of broke out from that. Oh, okay, what's this? This is our key level of resistance. Essentially, we've broken away from that as well. I think maybe this is a retest and we can get a huge sell moving downwards. but then you're not taking into perspective its range. We're actually at the bottom of the range, and it can move back in within the range from this SO point. And on the higher time frame, it's a much bigger bullish trend as well. So there are other factors, yes, you would look at, but naturally we are now updated to know where we are in the range and what's likely to happen. And again, if you zoom out, as much as you zoom out, I always advise zooming out. This will help so much. Zoom out and just look left. Like, it can reveal so much. You'd be so surprised how much you can take from zooming out and looking left. So, of course, this is a huge bullish market with NAS, so it doesn't give us much to look at from the left. But if we go over to a Forex pair, for example, and we go look at GJ right now, because I know GJ likes to fucking jump about. When we zoom out on these higher time frames and look left, we can notice that price has probably been within this range before. History repeats itself. What has price done in this range before? Where has it been? When we were here before, what happened? You can see we've been here before. We retested back towards P4 and continue to buy up. Again, we've been in this range way back. We've been up and down with GJ for quite a while. So there's a lot of information within this range. So utilizing the information the range gives us, being high level of resistance at the top, pivotal point in the middle where it can move either way, and a strong level of support at the bottom, we can start to rank our price actions and the types of trades we want to take up. Is it valid to take a buy to R8 here? Well, I mean, yeah, it is if you're looking for 10 pips. If you're looking for something quick, it might be, because you might get that move. But is it really worth it? What you should scout out and really look for is the longer term move. And that's how pivots allows us to be able to be on the right side of these big, long moves throughout the day. We see the huge buy all the way from the bottom of the range, testing where to, approaching towards the top of the range, simply because it was there before. Let me zoom back in. I always do that shit. I'm sorry. So we were up here before, price was here before, it just returns back to these areas, and we understand the range that once it's exceeded P4 this confidently, exceeded the local highs, now you're a lot more confident with price continuing to buy up. So we're utilizing the information that pivots gives to us to make better situations for our own trades. I'm gonna go through. Someone asked a question real quick. I'm just looking at it. When looking at the market, how do you know the direction the market is going to go? Okay, so if I know this was a call focused on pivots, but the way to best utilize pivots is to have a general understanding of analyzing markets anyway, and being able to understand charts. For the sake of everyone here, I'm really sad to do this because this markup right here of gold was spot on for today. I'm going to remove the drawings so we have that naked chart. I'm going to move the Ikimoku cloud. I'm just going to leave the moving average and the MACD here on the bottom. So when we're analyzing charts, for me, and I hope this helps a lot of people's procedures, you should be professional with your approach. Now, I don't know what people think or expect this trading thing to be. Yes, we understand we can make money from our phones anytime, anywhere. We have so many quality traders in this organization that maybe someone just saying something, you can click a button and bam, make money. That does happen. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but we have to have a professional approach when we are trading. So when you're trading, you need a system. Sit down and you go through the market in a certain way to make sure that you're cozy. I make myself feel comfortable in the market. When I first look at a market like this, I'm uncomfortable. I like that because I want to know what's going on. When I find my comfort, then I'm going to go make my best trades. So here's how I break it down. From the daily, if I'm trading day by day, of course, if it's the start of the week like it is Monday, we understand I'm going to check the week. Why am I check the week? Because I can see exactly what last week did. Right? I see exactly what last week did. Last week was a big buying candle. Of course, a bullish engulfing, great. That was cool. But did it break this zone? Did it break these zones here where we've seen price rejecting from before? No, it didn't. We got a clear close below both. Both of these candles don't exceed this zone. Of course, obviously, that's where the open of that candle was. It broke into here and it didn't close here for sure because that shit's right down here now. So we can see on the week in general, gold right now has been selling. Huge sell. That's on the weekly though. We understand that. We've saved that file and store it back there somewhere. On the weekly right now, there is a big selling bearish candle. We struggle to close above the zones of 1950. That's saved in the memory card. It's in the back of my head. Let's move on. That's not the end of it. That's not the beginning. I mean, it is the beginning. Sorry, it's not the end of it though. So let's go to the daily. Now that we know that, Well, we can see that was yesterday, right? Okay. Yesterday being really and truly, for me here in the UK, this was today. So my day today, this was that candle. Sunday being this candle, right? So right now, today, it's about to be midnight here in the UK. So this is going to be my tomorrow candle, essentially. Sorry to get that confusion out of the way, but this was today's candle. So we had this huge kind of sell that's going on, but there is this little rejection here, right? There's this little rejection, but we're on the daily time frames, remember? So this little gap might look little, but that's a whole lot of pips. Let's simplify that. And now we're looking at the daily. I'm gonna look generally further out. I'm gonna see what's going on. I can see the general movement of it, the trend of it. On the daily will look very bullish, right? Simple things analyze. Yeah, okay, I see that. Price is continuing that upwards movement. It's steady. I don't know if I want to use that as my trend line at all, but at the same time, I can see that general movement of price increasing. Everyone can see that, right? And if you want solid touches, then this trend line is whack as hell because it's got a lot of room for it to sell on into. But generally, we're moving. Price is increasing. Yeah, we can take that away from the daily. We understand prices increasing, but we also notice that we've got a slight little rejection here. We sold down, but where did we sell down to? We didn't sell past this level right here. We'd already been held here before. We've already had a common touch over here too. What's this? This little wick right here. Price tested down here before and shot straight away from that. Didn't want nothing to do with it. Came back down here, tried to break away again. Came down here again, tried to break away again. Now we've sold back down to that level, right? So this is on the daily. All this information is being taken in. It's saved. I understand we are selling on the weekly. On the daily, we are literally right on a support level. That's in my head. I'm moving down. Let's keep moving down the chart. On the 4 hour, being perspective of time, you understand a huge selling candle. Again, another sell. But this is a huge sell. This is a lot of pips. This is a lot of time. 8 to 12 hours from up here to down here. That's a lot of time. There's a lot of things can happen in this time frame, right? Everyone can see that a lot of things happened since then. We dropped down, but I'm thinking, okay, if this is a sell movement, generally, I mean, we can go ahead and we can hide the MACD for a second. We can go ahead to the indicators. I don't know if it's going to let me, because I don't pay for this. I don't pay for no trading view. Okay, they let me do it. All right, say no more. I like that. Stochastic, what can we notice about stochastic on the 4 hour? Somebody please. It's similar to pivots. What can we notice is going on here? If this was pivots, where would it be? If this was pivots, where would this be? SO. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate you. SO. It's all the way at the bottom. It's going into those oversold areas. Now, last time we were oversold. Oh, we were here. Oh shit. And then we bought all the way up. Oh, okay then. Last time we was oversold. Oh, okay. We noticed that this level of support is holding us up, right? So we're in that oversold position right now. But what is the price action? What is the data physically telling us that is occurring with gold right now? It's a sell candle, a consolidation candle into what is next. Someone finish this candlestick pattern for me, because really and truly, ultimately, what we can see is a sell candle down, a consolidation candle square, and then that buy candle back up. Generally speaking, that's a morning star. Now we can look at that on the 4 hour and start to formulate in our heads. Okay, well, fair enough. We're at a support zone. We sold all of yesterday. We're technically oversold. We're probably around SO on pivots. Let me pause that for a second, because this is how I'm going to show you how pivots assist these kind of moves. Now let me go to commodities real quick. I want to see gold on a 15-minute. Where are we at? Funny enough, we are right below SO. We're in oversold conditions already, so we know that. We know we're in oversold conditions. Now, the price action is going to be really important to me, because if we start making solid buying price action here, and on the 15-minute, we can see already we started to form this buying pattern. What's this? Oh shit, we're making higher lows, higher highs. Is this for real? Is this what's going to happen? If we continue this bullish trend back in towards this range, just like we do, just like we can see here, this morning star will be fulfilled. So I got that in my head now, and I'm thinking, okay, there's that morning star setup. There's a doji right on that support line. We've got a lot of stochastic momentum for the 4 hour to turn around and buy for 4 hours the opposite way. So now I'm just going to move down, but it's saved, it's logged, it's understood. It's understood. I understand now. We are not that far into the week. We're 2 days into the week, right? 2 days into the week. We've had a huge selling day. Had one whole day that was just selling. Now we've got one whole day. Almost, it's not really going to be one whole day, because it depends how long it sits here for If we go back to the daily, we look really quick. We have one huge selling candle. So this next daily candle is going to be a big piece of information for us on the longer time frame. So I don't really want to mess about too much with the longer time frames right now because it is after those huge sells. So now as I'm scoping in on the lower time frames, again, this doji makes me think I'm going to buy back up. But now we're on the hour. So now on the hour, we can start to see some nitty gritties. At the hour, we see pin bar. Now, you tell me what a pin bar is at the bottom of a bearish trend, because this is how I made money today. Simply, I call a buy in these wicks. Because once we'd made these pin bars, when we tried to pin bar the second time, I'm gonna tell you something real quick, because it's important to read candles chronologically. I want you to go ahead and write that down for everyone that wants to understand that. You need to read candles chronologically. Yes, it is a reversal. It's a reversal signal. You guys are correct. The order of the candles is extremely important. It's like reading a sentence. You wouldn't read a sentence with the last word first and the first word last. You just wouldn't. That's not how it's done. That's not how it's made. So we read these candles and understand pin bar at the bottom of a trend. That is the key candle. That's a big boy candle. That is your capital letter. I'm going to start the sentence off like this. That's what this market's saying to you, right? We're going in for the buy from here. Yes, the next candle, if we just move this over, well, that's a huge bearish pin bar. Like, Cees, what's going on? It just pin barred. Now it's bearish pin bar. I got in on a buy up here, bro. Like, I'm going to have to close out. Like, nah. Just for a second, hang on. Because we just made the reversal pattern. Now, what it is signified that pin bars need to be positioned specifically a lot of the time for them to be very effective. So where do we want to see a bearish pin bar for that to be effective? At the top of a buy, correct? At the top of a buy move. This hasn't yet really bought. So I've experienced this multiple times in my trading journey, and I like to look at it, okay, it's not at the top of a move, so I'm gonna wait to see what the next candle piece of information will tell me. And of course, we pin bar again. So that's another continuation. So for me, this doesn't mean reversal because it's during the move. It's not at the top or the end of the move. It's during the move. It's right at the start. So the next pin bar confirms to me, okay, this is on that support level. Everyone can see that at the shaded area. It is right on the top of that support level, showing the momentum moving upwards, right? It gives us that. It tells us that we're pin barring off of a key support level. Price is going to move up from here. Naturally, the next hour bought up. For that entire hour, I caught pips. For that entire hour. No questions about it. I'm taking that off of a support level. Why? Because I knew on the higher time frames that gold was exhausted. I knew that we were down low. We were in the oversold sections on pivots. We just needed to form the correct price action for me to get involved with some buys. Of course, this is deceiving because the last 15 minutes, it went crazy and sold down. Let me go back to gold real quick. Apologies. Let me zoom in, family. Let me go in. So yeah, this is where we're at. We're in those oversold conditions. So for me, if it continues to move in this direction, of course, we go into the lower time frames of 15 minutes. We can see the general movement, and it's quite a clean, bullish formation in a sense. It's not strong. It's not breaking boundaries. Price isn't moving a lot of distance. For gold, it is. I'll tell you now, from here to here is a lot of pips. We could have caught, there was a potential for over 100 pips today, catching these wick bottoms down here and taking profit at these highs. So we can formulate that idea. Like, I know for this day right now, we're going to compete with this support line. So I'm going to trade the price action based off of that. If it's telling me pin bars and we start making higher lows, I'm going to back the fact that we're buying in towards. We just sold for a whole day. We sold for the whole day. You've seen that daily candle. Obviously, the sellers are going to be slightly exhausted. There is going to be some repercussions of that. Price is going to bounce back. I utilize my higher time frame analysis, my understanding of that, and then pivots to get my entries and the price action at the right levels to get into these trades and to make profits. So if that makes sense, family, take it away. Understand that, do not overcomplicate pivots. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. It is simply setting out a range for you to trade the range in market and understand at what point or in what section of the range price is at. Is it oversold? Is it overbought? Is it towards the center? Has it got potential to move multiple different ways? Now, it's just not to be overcomplicated. it's very easy for us to hit TPs in pivots too. So that's the last thing I'm going to break down about hitting TPs in pivots. So for me, the minute 15 was where I trade on pivots. It keeps the range the tightest and basically in the most immediate, like I was saying before. Now, level to level is a decent 10 pips or so. I think on NAS, level to level is about 20 pips to 18 pips-ish. I want to go and measure that out to make sure. We're going to see real quick. These levels on 15 are 8 pips apart, 10 pips apart. That's really narrow, bro. Where did I get 20 odd pips from? This shit's crazy. Let me go into this hour real quick. Apologies, yo. I thought it was way bigger. I must have been on different time frames. Okay, so for the hour, that shit's 70 pips. Yeah, I'm definitely tripping. Okay, I'm with it, family. I'm sorry. I just had a blank in my mind for a moment. Anyway, these ranges, these levels to levels, that's distance. Trust me, in these types of markets, NAS, gold, all the indices, this is distance. One trade from a level to a level with the correct lot size, managed properly, probably will do you close to your daily. Serious, and that's how serious it is. That's how serious a tool NAS is to be utilized. Because if you can just simply understand that cells are more inclined when we get closer to the higher of the range, and we utilize that in our analysis, we can catch one range from R7 to R5. We can catch one quickly, catch it easily. We can also use these as stop losses. Now, if I'm going to buy a SO, well, I know I'm just going to use my -1 as my stop loss, right? That's the next level below that. Bam. And this is how it will look. You can utilize these things here. I don't recommend it a lot of the time, especially with indices. Let me tell you, indices, bro, indices are crazy. Pivots with indices will give you such a good insight as to the direction of this market. I'm telling you that for facts. The amount of times, some of the conversations we have within this organization, I'm not going to lie to you, will just consist of saying something like NAS SO. That's all I need to know. That is literally all we need to know. NAS SO. You go look on your charts, you go see price action, you go see how price is moving, you use your indicators. Is stochastic good? Does it have momentum to buy back in it? Are we fighting a key level of support that's naturally in the market anyway, and this SO level is just around there? Add all those things up, formulate enough confluence, don't overcomplicate it, and trade NAS level by level. One level is fine for TP. One level is fine for TP. You can see this from SO to S1 in NAS is 77 pips. Need I say no more? Need I say no more? All right? Need I say no more? So let's utilize these pivots smartly. Anybody that has any questions real quick, now is the time. I do want to help. I feel like I confused a little bit more than I attempted to a lot of the time. When I do get into depth about talking about trading, it goes to an advanced technical description, and some people get lost in it. So if you did, I apologize, but ask me any questions right now. We'll go over them. I'm here to help everyone, honestly. So anyone that's still here wants to ask a question, now is that time. I'm going to go open the chats right now and make sure I can obviously help out. Thank you. I've been watching various videos on reading the markets, but wasn't figuring out, but you cleared up a lot of questions I had. Brendan, I am so happy I could do that for you. Anyone else? Any more questions? Oh, we got one firing through. Say no more. All right. Good call, fam. Appreciate it. How you get good entry? I got in late. Now, good entries. For me, I'm gonna teach you a little gem. So right now, what we're moving in it, gold is live. Gold is live as hell. So right now in gold, we can see this. For good entries, for me, I categorize the market like this. Someone said to me, a trader said to me, that in the actual stock markets, in Wall Street, all that stuff, they do not use the 1 minute time frame. They will look at you like you're a dunce if you're trading on the 1 minute time frame. The 1 minute time frame specifically was put in place for entries for longer time frame swings. But obviously, as the markets have evolved, the supply and demand changes, the market moves more volatile, X, Y, and Z, things happen. The 1 minute can be utilized. Now, if you can understand first and foremost the 1 minute in depth, you can catch a lot of fire entries, because you'll understand that the 1 minute is just simply eating into other levels of liquidity, but these levels of liquidity match up. Now, the 1 minute as well, when we zoom out, look how much noise that is. I call it noise. The 1 minute for me is noisy. It's hella loud. There's so much going on. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's left, it's right, it's doing a madness, doing backflips. All of a sudden, shit, I'm back at R5. I was down at S1. The fuck is happening? So the 1 minute can blow up man's mind. So don't get sucked into trading, specifically the 1 minute, unless you are tape pips. Like facts. Unless you're tape pips, yeah, don't get sucked into that. The 1 minute will give you these entries because you will be able to identify the price action earliest in the 1 minute. What do I mean by that? Okay. So right now we're at SO, correct? It was at SO. So when we're on the 1 minute, what can we see? We can see all the information that's being below SO. See that, right? This is all the information that's being below SO on the 1 minute. We go to the 30 minutes, for example. I can see what? 2 pieces of information. And what are those information pieces? Again, yes, it could be that Harami confirmation of a candle, this pattern, these 2 candles here, and then a pin bar. Decent enough information. It's actually much better than I thought it was going to give me, to tell the truth. But anyway, we only have 2 pieces of information. On the 50 minute, we're going to have what? Twice as much as that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it gapped up, but yeah, we have that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Similar again, we got pin bars, sell candles. Not really much, more or less consolidation. The 1 minute though will show us the lowest points and these pin bars here. Now, these are essentially wicks in higher time frames. So when we look at the market and we look in the 1 minute, well, this on the 1 minute, you can see a lot of stuff was happening here in the 1 minute. If I zoom out the 1 minute though, this is going to be a wick. This is going to be a wick. It's not easy to enter on those wicks unless you're in that 1 minute. And that's the only time you should stay in the 1 minute for really and truly for me. Unless you're scalping on an indice, the 1 minute for me, I'm getting in, I'm getting that entry. I'm making sure it's fire as hell. I'm trying to get no drawdown. And from that, I have a long-term analysis that's backing the reason why I'm entering a buy here, because we've exhausted the sell. Like I said the day before, we're at SO, and there's a lot of signs for price moving back in towards its range. There's a lot of liquidity that we've left all the way up here, and we need to eat up. Explaining that even further, you know what, for everyone that's still on here, I'm going to give you an extra bit of value. That's not even to do with pivots, it's just general. I'm just going to give you an extra bit of value right now. This whole sell, this was our whole day of selling, correct? We was talking about this for time. This is the whole day of selling. How many people got in at these points? Let's draw it out. Let's draw it out. What we can see physically from this data will even tell us where people got into the market, right? So we sold away from here. So there's a bunch of orders at this shaded area. Of course, sell, 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 blah, 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 red, yeah. People get in here. Shit, I missed a sell. Let me get in. People are still getting in around these levels. So that's our first kind of area that people are still getting into these trades. Buyers try to get back in at this point. If you just take a quick look, buyers try to get back in at this point here, but price pushes back up. And then the next candle opens. What happens when the next candle opens? Only sellers get in the market. Well, that's a lie because we have that little wick up. Buyers get in, it pushes up just a little bit like this, and then it sells, fully sells down to here, and buyers get back into the market. Buyers stay in the market. Sellers say, fuck you, get back into the market, sell right back down. Then we have this battle, consolidation, buys up, sellers say no, and then the next candle, all the sellers get back in. So in these times, we can start to understand people are getting in and out of the market. What does this mean? This is meaning that orders are flying into the market. Liquidity is coming into the market. So here, there's a bunch of sell trades. There is a bunch of sell trades. Here, there is a bunch of sell trades. Here, there is a bunch of sell trades. Right here, we've probably got the doji, the dragonfly doji almost. I like to say the Jesus Christ. Sometimes there's no blasphemy. I'm a man of God, but you get me. People would have thought it would have bought from here, but what happened? More sells came into the market. We sold again. Again, same thing here. We pin barred. Oh shit, let's go back up. Buyers, nope. Sellers got into the market. So now these are all traffic points. These are all interaction points that the price, the market itself generally wants to go back and test real quick. You know what I'm saying? So these are now become TPs if we do get the correct price action down here. You see what I'm saying? So to understand that, if you read back on the information, you can be ahead of the new information because the market never moves in one direction. I'm going to share this story with you real quick. Idris, one of my guys, shout out Idris if you're still on this call, got a lot of love for the kid because you know what? He asks questions. He asks every single question. This guy could ask me anything. Could ask me how to tie his shoe and I'm going to tell him. But at the end of the day, he asks questions. And I figure out a lot just by explaining sometimes. But he said to me, I said to him, I went here to the 4 hour. I said to Idris, and bearing in mind this hadn't happened yet, so we ignore these two candles here. We ignore those for a second. They're not here. They haven't come to the party yet. They're late. So those two candles are not there. I said to Idris, what's happening? What's happening with gold right now? What's going on? He looked at his screen and he told me it's selling. And I said, okay then. So this shaded area wasn't here as well, granted. It was just like this. I said, well, what's going to happen from here? He said, well, it's selling. It's going to keep selling, right? But we need to understand the market never moves in wonder. It never moves straight down. It never, ever moves straight down. We're never just going to go like that. Never going to be one move. What needs to happen is impulse. And after impulse, retracement. So this is just us right here catching this retracement and then understanding the levels at which retracement can retrace to. What is most likely? The first one, which was my TP, which where I made money today, was this level. Not that far, not at all. But if we caught the bottom of this wick, it then becomes a decent amount of pips and becomes solid for a trading day. Especially if you're trading at the ridiculous lot sizes that I was, but yeah, that comes with it as well. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly check over the chat again. I know I saw some chats flying in. The Jesus Christ, shout out the Jesus Christ candle. Let's go back. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3. I appreciate you writing that out the way you did because I know that took a minute anyway. Are you just overbought and oversold? Correct. So in these zones, when we are in -1, bro, don't do that shit to me again. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nas is really trying to piss me off today. Go back. So, what was I saying again? Yeah. -1, -2, -3, +1, +2, and +3. Yes, these are the positions in the range, which I don't know how to physically visualize it. Like, these are our key levels of resistance, right? So this is the top and this is the bottom. So when price is in these zones, it's almost as if, like I was saying, the similarity with stochastic, when it's in those zones, it can stay in those zones, trickle upwards, keep moving and break out. The thing about the price is itself, it can break out this range. Stochastic, unfortunately, can't break out of stochastic's range, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes price can continue to buy through and break through this. All that has to happen is the range itself has to be adjusted. So when it is in +1, +2, +3, or -1, -2, -3, it is generally oversold and overbought. So in those conditions, unless there is absolute, like you've got enough confluence that you know for a fact it's not selling back down into that range, it's going to make a whole new range. A good way to look at this is having understanding of, say, let's say Nas is a bullish market, right? It's bullish as fuck. So for it to stay bullish on the highest of time frames, if we zoom all the way out to the daily, for it to stay bullish on the absolute highest of time frames, we need to exceed this high, because this is the local high. It's not really local, this is the local high, and we're exceeding it right now. We got a close that was slightly above it. Again, doesn't insinuate too much, but it does insinuate price does want to move upwards. Again, moving on to what we were actually talking about. We need to exceed this high. This is our highest point, essentially. This came right level with it at R7, didn't break it. So for this to stay bullish, this needs to break this level. What can we start to see? So for price to stay bullish and to actually move bullish on the daily time frame and to continue this long-term bullish trend that Nas is in and will stay in, because it's the fucking tech industry. Like, what, bro? What are we doing? We're going to go to 2050 and I'm going to have a hoverboard. Amazon's probably going to still be on their D making me a hoverboard. So, of course, the prices are going to constantly rise. Yes, don't convince yourself to just take buys because of that. But generally speaking, the long term, we will see these values continue to rise. These companies aren't going anywhere. Vaccines are being made. They have their fingers in all the pies. You know what I'm saying? Price is going to rise. So for it to rise, it has to exceed our high on the highest of time frames, the daily right here. And if it does exceed that, where it will be going to, it will be going towards R8. Then if it goes into these exceeded zones, I would say, yes, it has a chance to test back down to here using that as a swing point and then continue to go on and make our new higher highs for the future. But that's very specific. When it is in those +1, +2, +3 zones, -1, -2, -3 zones, it is generally overbought and oversold. Overbought obviously being up here, oversold being down there. So I hope that answered that question for you. And it gave you an insight on a long-term buy swing if you are holding any buys from NAS. And literally, like, just to put it this way, like simply, if you bought in September and just turned your phone off, lost your phone, didn't know where the fuck it was for a whole 2 months, and you just found your phone now, you've made thousands of pounds or £1,000 roughly. So yeah, that gives you an idea how to treat NAS as well, how to treat your money. You might not have to scalp NAS. You might be able to put enough amount of money aside and just put £1 per pip on NAS and just let that shit fly for years and years. I don't know if that's worth it, but whatever. Sorry, I get sidetracked really easily. Let me get back to these questions because I know there's one or two more, and then we're going to close up because we've been here an hour. You get me? You got an hour of source, but I actually love doing this. I ain't going to cap to you lot, so let me get to it. On SPX 500, what are we looking to do when the market is in the middle of its range? It's sitting at P4. What move should I be looking for next? That's Jordan Patrick. I'm going to let you know, Jordan. Let me go check that real quick. 15. Okay, so I see what you're saying about it's being at P4. We're starting to move away from P4 now, though. We can see that that's probably happened literally since, that's happened since the market opened, that little gap up here. So, of course, you've probably got your answer generally. The direction of it right now is moving in the sell direction. It's broken P4, it's broken it clearly, and it's heading towards SO. We can see, though, if you just look on SPX 500, we have a huge contraction point here. Price just gets together and chills in that zone. So, again, be careful. You don't want to get caught trading in these moments because you're just going to be bored as fuck. Simply put, you're going to be bored as fuck. So, if you're not in the trade just yet, I would wait for breaks of S2 and clear opens in this S2, S1 zone before we get into any sells, and then you'll be selling it towards that SO position. Again, when it gets into interaction around these S1 levels, what do we need to do? If you zoom out and look left, you'll know. Zoom out, look left, what's this? We got a whole structure that's up the top here. How do we utilize that? Well, we can notice that the highs obviously are going to be some form of level of resistance here. So what does that mean in a long-term bullish trend? Those resistance levels eventually become swing points and act as support. So if price doesn't sell below here, essentially what I'm saying to you is it's going to buy back towards P4. If it breaks P4, it could buy back to R8 and exceed our highs, continuing the bullish trend. If not, it will sell through to the floor, break SO, and consolidate and chill around here. This is the 15-minute time frame, so essentially this could be a range. You see how it gets tighter as we go further in the time frame. So now this is an hour. Again, we can almost see that W. So if it opens up for the buy with these Ws and all these Ws coming through on the indices, it's going to be a very bullish week. So just be aware of that. I hope that helped you on P4. How do you know price wouldn't crash through and reject the support in NAS 100? Did you close after seeing the shooting star? Okay, Dominic, get your thumbs active. Get back in the chat real quick. I'm going to ask you a question. How did you know price wouldn't crash through to reject the support in NAS? We're going to go back to NAS because obviously you're talking about NAS real quick. How did I know it wouldn't break this support, this area right here? Is this what we're talking about? Give me some confirmation, my G. I hope he's still in this call, Dominic Johnson. Yes. Oh, so how did I know it was going to break through here? Okay. So, one, unfortunately, no one in this market tells you, no matter who they are, no matter nothing. Nothing is 100%. So no one actually knows. You know what I'm saying? No one actually knows. I just have enough information backing the fact that I don't think it's got much left to sell. There's not much life left where the sells are at. Yes, it looks like it's going to continue down right now. As I'm saying this, I'm probably going to eat my words. But for me, the sell's kind of exhausted. It's at the 20 level stochastic. It should really be buying back. We're at SO. That's 2 levels of confluence for me. Stochastic looks like it's at the buyback zone, and we're at SO. So that tells me I'm at a heavy level of support, and stochastic is looking to turn back around. Now, there's got to be more than that for me. One thing that's got me worried, now that you mentioned it, this was a key level of support for us. What happens to key levels of support when they're broken on the bearish side? They'll turn to levels of like a swing point, essentially. This would be our lowest point before. Now we've made a lower low, test back to this level, use it as a swing point. So we could see price move down even further, but really and truly, what I'm noticing in NAS is a higher time frame again, it's just all to do with a longer time frame look at things. If you look on the daily, what was the last candle? Okay, that's fucked up, Carl. No, Nas doesn't look like that. So let's change that ASAP. I'm sorry, God, that was not right. Daily, give me that. Okay, so this is our Nas daily. You can see the levels that are set there anyway. So where are we at? Right here. This is a key level for me. You can see it's marked out. We've got all this stuff marked out. Now, I believe Nas is bullish. After the information that was dropped today, I see no reason for Nas moving backwards from here. By moving backwards from here, I mean exceeding or going below certain levels. For me, those certain levels are around this 11,500, 11,400-ish level. Now, that's just a personal bit of confidence. Now, also, if you look, where have we come from? This huge buy up, where have we come from? Where did we retest? Retested at this level. What's this level with? This is where you can start building an understanding of where these key levels are in price. If I draw this shaded area and we just simply look left, well, we consolidated here before. We formed a structure here before. Things have happened at this level before. So I know there's some level of support. It's broken through that, so it could be used as a level of resistance. But we've also got these structures here. I'm honestly just confident in the fact that it's a bullish trend, that the fact that we're at SO, and that I know it could come into this oversold section. Honestly, I ain't even got a straight answer for you, bro. I'm not going to tell you. No, I don't know for a fact it's not going to go below -1. I don't know that. I do not know that. I will just make decisions based off of the information around here to say that it will come in this direction. And right now, obviously, it's not very volatile. This isn't a great time to be trading Nas, honestly, and truly. You should be waiting for the London and the New York session overlap to be trading Nas, and then after period of that, the aftermath of that. But I mean, if this is a bullish trend, I want to do it on here so I can see it a lot clearer. If we're looking at this bullish trend, again, I'm going to do this to make shit clearer, and this hurts me because I have to go mark up all my charts again. We are simply doing what? What's the market condition? I don't know why I strayed away from this for so long. This is going to help a lot of people that are still in here. What is the market condition? Because before you trade, you should never not be able to answer me that question. If you can't tell me what market condition is, you should not enter a trade. You should not be in a trade at all. Consolidation. Chase says consolidation. I like that. I like that. Anyone else got any suggestions of what else condition we're in right here? What we're doing? What's price doing? This is the 15 minutes. So again, we can take it out even further. This is the hour. Look at it on the hour. What are we doing? I think you might be right, brother. I think you might be right. Sorry. Chase and Dominic both said ranging, consolidating. I think you're right. You look at the hour, we can see it's not really the strongest of bullish trends, and it can't be a bullish trend. Why can't it be a bullish trend? Well, what's our laws? We need to make higher highs for one. You can see this clearly isn't a higher high. So again, that's ticked off the list. So we're definitely not bullish right now. We're not strictly bullish. Again, we can scope into the 15-minute and confirm that because we haven't made higher highs here. We didn't make higher highs here. We actually made lower highs. So when we're moving back down towards that, but we've been bullish. Like we said, ranging, consolidating. If it's ranging, consolidating, it means it's what? It's ranging from 1 point, a level of support, to the top point, a level of resistance. Right now, we can visually put those in as here. You can understand that. Everyone can see that. And move this across just so everyone can see it as like an actual range. Everyone can see that. All right, that's cool. Yeah? Everyone can see that. Everyone can see. Now, we can start to compartmentalize these zones, right? We're in the 4 hour. You can see that? We're in the 4 hour. This is a range in itself. See that? That could be a whole range. That could be R8. That could be SO. Now, we've come from a whole nother range. It's a much bigger range. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm going to go zoom into here. We're ranging. Truth be told, we're ranging. Yeah? That's what's going on. Well, how do you trade a range in market? Sell at resistance, buy at support, right? So would you enter at this point? Is it smart to enter at this point? Essentially, if you think about it, if that's R8, well then here's R7. Well, here's my R6. Here's R5. My pivot point should be about the middle. Yeah. S5, S4. I'm tripping because the shit ain't gonna fit in. Anyway, you get the gist. We're at the top, towards the top of this range, right? So it's selling away. It's on that sell move. If it is consolidating, which within the hour we can clearly see it's been up, down, up, down, up, down. The last time we reached these levels, price turned away, sold back down. We haven't been able to exceed these levels again. Price has turned around and sold away again. So what's likely for it to happen? To continue to sell back towards the bottom of here. So that's what I'll be looking at in the immediate right now. If I was going to trade this market, I probably wouldn't right now. For the buy, it doesn't look like it's going to help. Anyway, I need to go back to that question because I fully lost what the hell I was fucking talking about. Oh, he said, how did I know it was not going to, did you close after seeing the shooting star? That was the nail in the coffin. All right, cool. So the shooting star you noticed on 15-minute, right? Is it 15-minute? Because it's not really a shooting star, but I know what you're saying. Like physically, yeah, it kind of looks like a shooting star. It has the same psychology, but it's not a shooting star. But I'll give it you. What it actually essentially is just it's a pin bar, bearish pin bar, top of a buy move, then into a bearish engulfing candle, big sell candle, and again now it's going to test. But we need to know, where's it going to test? Where's it going to close? We still got 9 minutes. Don't read into a candle that's not closed yet as well. That's another gem. Drop that on your head real quick. But yeah, we don't want to read too much into this. But what can we confirm from this information right here? We can confirm that price wasn't breaking here before. So there's obviously key levels around here. There's something going on. But here it's simply sold through it cleanly, and now it's rejecting away from it. So we can expect price to continue to move downwards, but now we have to understand that there are other levels that are going on here that are coming into play. And it's the understanding of these levels and then the understanding of how price interacts at these levels and how you interpret that and then act on market execution with that information. So essentially for me, I wouldn't close strictly off of this evening star just because it's after a bullish push in anyway. So it's due to retrace. I don't generally get that scared with this sell movement down. More or less should be anticipating it after this buy movement upwards. So yes, I wouldn't close after the shooting star. Again, that's because of the understanding of where it is in the range. We're at SO, bro. So how far can this sell to really? If it does the dash on us and it sells like crazy, yeah, cool, great. But there's gonna need to be some real reason behind that. And if it even sells to the end of our range, yes, that is a lot of pips. 144 pips is nothing to be fucked about with. I'm not going to lie to you. So stop losses would be hit before there. Let's just put it that way. My stops right now would be at the lows. Like I'm not taking anything. Anything exceeds these lows, I'm out. I'm wrong. I don't care. This retracement has happened and that's all it wanted to retrace. And now it's breaking. I'm getting out of its way and I'm going to join on the sell stop. Does that make sense? Does that open that up a bit more with this going on here? Because if we go on the lower time frames, we can see a bit more. It is price peeling away, but now look what kind of formations we're having on the 5 minute, the 1 minute. We can see pin bars off of these levels, and those levels simply by looking at the 15, we get accurate markups of the 1 minute. I'm saying where we see big rejections from, where we see price not wanting to break down below here. We see these pin bars getting formed. Price couldn't break below this level. So we can start using that. If price breaks above here, well, then I'm looking for it to what? Challenge these highs again here. You just can set these levels. And as long as you understand generally what the value is doing and take into perspective the long-term time frame and where we're at in pivots, all this stuff marries together nicely. So understanding pivots is imperative. It will help your trading to the 10th degree, like it really will. Understanding entry, understanding where we are in the market, understanding the momentum of the market and just its general range. Where does price like to go? You know what I'm saying? P4 generally is a place price likes to go. So if we've moved away from P4 and it forms price action that's suggestive to back towards P4, 9 times out of 10 price probably will move towards P4. Get it? You got it. All right, guys, listen, we've been here for way too long. Yeah, but obviously that value, if I've got it there, I'm gonna give it to you. Like, I'm gonna try get on these calls a lot more. These actually give me a bit of structure throughout the day. I know this is like the end of the day, absolute end of the day for me. I'm about to smoke when I go sleep. You never heard that from me, but anyway, I like to get on these calls and give you guys some information. So yeah, we're gonna get some more, but in the meantime, if you haven't got a candlestick Bible, make sure you do. Make sure you do. Make sure you get that. Please do not neglect that information, because, yo, I had that book for like a good month before I fully properly read it, and that was wasted time. So really and truly, if you've got that book, you haven't fully tapped in with it yet, do me a favor, go ahead and tap in it. If you've already tapped in with it, go read it again. Go read it again. Go read certain sections of it again. Go read how to take action, how to understand market condition. Because I assure you, the fundamentals of that book, the absolute fundamentals of that book, if you have that down to a T, you are not going to be played about. Not in this market, because you will understand. You understand the fundamentals. And it's only the lack of understanding which leads to anxiety. It leads to not knowing what to do in a trade. And when you don't know what to do in a trade, you make very poor decisions. So when you make poor decisions, you lose a shit ton of money, especially if you're in NAS. Especially if you're in NAS. So everyone knows that anyway. So I appreciate you guys coming through. One little last gem. A little last thing I'm going to show you. Shout out DC. Today, people, yeah. You know, I was telling you about this gold buy. And this was using pivots, understanding the market, and catching a very clean entry. A very clean entry. Oh, sad. They don't give me no history on the day because it's a new day now. All right, save. If we go custom, what was the date yesterday? It was the 9th. Okay. Here we are. We're here. So the first thing that went crazy, that was mad, that was disgusting, was GJ. You can see GJ, right? Got to see some GJ buyers. Held them all day. You want to see what GJ did today? You want to see what GJ did? It went from SO to R7 / potentially R8. It never cashed out when it was around here. But you see that movement, right? You see it. You see that movement. You can see the range of market. If we go out even further to the 4 hour, you see prices even being above here. It's exceeded here before. It's already done this. We can see that whole range of market. We can see on average the channel in which we're trading within. How is this not the best thing for you to utilize midday to get on top of your own value? I trade GJ all the time. It's my market. I love it. So when I trade GJ, shout out DC because he put me onto it. When I trade GJ, I'm checking pivots so I know where I'm at. I'm not moving into this market all not clued up and lack of understanding of where the value is. And I'm not going to start taking buys at R8 and get done with 100 pips sell to SO. That's not happening. Don't let it happen to you. Like. So we caught that all day. I just realized you like did not just see what I just showed you, right? You like didn't see it for a second. Yeah, let me. There you go. You lot can see that, right? Everyone can see that. One's on the screen. You can see what's going on. That's the GJ buy I was talking about. So we went crazy on the GJ buy today. It really saved my soul. As you can see, I lost fucking $2 earlier today. So, you know what I'm saying? But I was talking to you about these lot sizes. They don't play around. But at the same time, my broker as well, it's kind of hard to understand. It's very literal. It's literal. So 10.00 is actually £10 per pip. It's not a 10 lot. So it's not £100 per pip or whatever, or £1,000 on that, whatever it is. TP hit on gold, by the way. Let's lock in, people, man. This opportunity's got so much potential for us. Believe in yourself. I'm a true believer of everything I learned this weekend. The mind is a very powerful thing. Really just start to project the image of you, understanding this knowledge and manipulating it day by day, because you really can understand this to a level where you don't have to worry about money no more. That's as real as it gets. I'm going to end the call right here, people. I appreciate you again. My name has been Cees. If you've been on the call, again, edify it. I appreciate it. At me on Instagram, whatever you want to go ahead and do. I appreciate you. And we'll get it again. We'll be later in the week. We'll get back to it. You'll see me another time. So, yeah, everyone, appreciate you. And peace. Everyone have a good day. Bless out.